Check your back seat. My town had somewhat of an urban legend in which we were supposed to check our backseat. Obviously, if you seen someone tucked in the back, you wouldn't get in. But how often is it you do actually check? The legend is that if you get in your car and Lisa is in the back, she will try her hardest to convince you to look at her. She will kill you if you do. The story behind who Lisa was is a very muddy story. I'm not sure anyone knows who she was. I heard some say she was a hooker. Some said she was a woman kidnapped and brutally murdered. My grandpa claimed she was an evil woman who many people hated. He said she was gorgeous and sweet as a peach, but bitter like grapefruit. He claimed his brother endured a ride with her. We would see TikTok and YouTube videos of people clearly acting but no legit footage ever seen. I reckon the only proof would be if someone set up their camera and watched it later without the mirror pointing toward them. We'd often see someone in makeup or a scary mask in the background as a joke. I guess I pushed it aside as nothing until last night. My team leader at my factory job got me really pissed off. I ended up hollering that I had enough, was taking the rest of the day off about halfway into my 12-hour night shift. I clocked out at the gate and hopped in my truck. I had it in my head to go by a gas station and transfer all my rage into buying some beer and hot dogs. I cranked my truck and let out a long sigh as I pulled out of the parking lot. The inside of my vehicle seemed to smell horrible. It was almost an earthy smell mixed with rotten meat. As soon as I rolled down the window, I heard a voice. "This should be fun." My body froze up. I felt paralyzed from fear. "Won't you turn around?" I pulled a cigarette out of my shirt pocket and proceeded to light it until she reached her arm across the seat and grabbed it. Her arm was rotten and had maggots crawling on it. "Smoking will kill you, honey bear." I seen that gas station up the road and thought I could hide out in it all night. "I can wait." I reached down to crank up the radio and try to drown her voice out. "Don't make me reach over again." This time her voice sounded distorted, as with a few tones behind. I did what most of us would do. I hit the gas pedal and planned on speeding home. That was until blue lights appeared. I almost checked my rear view mirror but knew I shouldn't. She let out a hair-raising cackle. The elderly officer came shining his flashing at me. "How you doing there, Speedy?" "She's in my back seat." He shined his light back there. "Who's back there?" "That's not how that works, darling. Don't be rude and let me see your pretty eyes." The officer stared at me with such confusion. "You aren't tweaking or drunk, are you, son?" "No, officer. I just had a really rough day and was ready to get home." "License and registration." The rest of the ride was traumatic. She tried to convince me to turn around. At one point she tossed her ripped up dress into my lap. "Just look at me and I'll take you somewhere special. It's worth looking." Once I got in my driveway, I shut off my truck and got out. My legs felt like jello. Once I got to my porch, a spark of curiosity hit me. I remember what my grandpa said. "Once you're home, you can see her if you choose. Just make sure to stand on your porch." I heard the car door close and I turned around. Her head was upside down and she had black eyes. Her mouth was cartoonishly larger and had long black hair. She was naked and was standing at least 8 foot tall. "Until next time, darling. See you in your dreams." Long wings sprouted from her back and she flew off into the moonlight. Always check your backseat.